So with the legend, a tribute to our friend Noel, please welcome Eileen Hopkins.
Is there someone in your life who has truly inspired you? Someone whose actions and words have helped you to become the best version of yourself. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, for me, that person was the late, great Noel O'Beara. In 2017, when I first joined Toastmasters, I had the privilege of getting to know Noel, a man whose story, humour and dedication continued to inspire me all the time I knew him. Noel was a member of Toastmasters for almost 40 years. He was a legend, an example of resilience, service and joy. Noel's passion for self-improvement and helping others earned him the Toastmasters Presidential Citation in 2004, a recognition of a life devoted to making a difference. But beyond awards, Noel's true legacy was his ability to lift those around him with humour, warmth, and an unwavering positivity. Last week, when I visited his home after his passing, I was struck by the treasure trove of Toastmasters memorabilia. There were badges, certificates, awards, testaments, fellow Toastmasters, to a life well lived. Brendan, his son, told me that after Noel passed, he went to his bookshelf, hoping he might find a book on eulogies. However, in true Noel form, all he could find was books of jokes and humour. Because that was Noel, making us laugh, even in moments of sadness. For those of you who knew Noel, you would be very familiar with one line. Anybody like to share it?
Point of order.
A point of order was Noel's way of letting us know if we were going a little bit off track, which I probably do tonight. He was a perfectionist. He liked things done right. In fact, I spoke to his granddaughter yesterday, and she told me of a couple of years ago, she did an interview on RTE, which is Ireland's main radio station. Very proud of herself. So afterwards, she gave our Noel a ring, and she said, "Grandad, how did I do?" And he said, "It was good, but you had 22 filler words." That was Noel. But Noel's contribution extended far beyond Toastmasters. He was a dedicated supporter of Water Safety Ireland, where he was celebrated for 50 years of voluntary service in 2010. His roles there ranged from administrator to mentor, always guiding with patience and wisdom. Other things you may not know about Noel: he was a former lecturer of nuclear defence. He studied public administration in Dublin City University and public relations with the Public Relations Institute of Ireland. He was also a certified parachuting and ambulance instructor, awarded the Trailblazer Diploma of Honour in 1991. So as you can see, his life demonstrated curiosity, courage, and a relentless desire to serve. But what many Toastmasters may not know is that in 1966, Noel starred in a movie, The Blue Mats, along with another Toastmaster, Pierce Fagan. In fact, it has been said that they overshadowed the lead actors, Ursula Andress and George Peppard. Noel significantly contributed to the movie's success, famously directing British fire from an observation balloon during a wartime scene. When shot at, he parachuted to safety, surviving an incredible venture. Thanks to perfect timing, just like his speeches, Noel survived, lived to tell the tale, and became part of cinematic history. That legendary moment led to the humorous ban in our club of the phrase, the blue mats. Because when we would hear it mentioned, we would all go, oh. What made Noel truly special was his ability to connect, his storytelling, his humour, and his world. He believed, and he often said, that only the unattempted is impossible. That positive attitude carried him through many challenges in his life. In fact, when he was 82, 17 years ago, after major surgery, he refused to be defeated. He joked regularly that he didn't have long to live, and yet he proved us all wrong, showing how love of life can keep you going. Whether sharing stories, enjoying a good Irish whiskey, or simply being among friends. I last visited Noel on April the 6th, and he was weak, but he was just unbreakable. And I asked him a question. I said, Noel, if somebody new was starting in Toastmasters, what words of advice would you give them? And he said, don't be afraid to make mistakes. We all make mistakes, and we're still here. Words of wisdom that resonate deeply. Noel's life teaches us that failure is just a stepping stone, and that perseverance, humour, and kindness can carry us through even the toughest times. I feel incredibly fortunate to have known Noel, to have learned from his wisdom, his humour, and his positivity. His legacy is a shining example to us all. Before departing for Birmingham this morning, I, along with many Toastmaster friends of Noel's, attended his funeral to say our final farewell to our dear friend. Fellow Toastmasters, this weekend, I invite you to remember Noel, to celebrate Noel, his words, his generosity of spirit. Let us carry forward his lessons, to laugh often, to serve wholeheartedly, and to approach life with courage and joy. Shuavnes, Sherry, and Noel. Ní Yamafid, Darmid, Gudjo, Earth, which means eternal rest, Noel. We will miss you dearly, our friend.